Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome one and all. I am super grateful that you've joined me today on another beautifully magical day. Always a beautifully magical day. Speaking about magic, today I want to talk about magic hour. Do you know what this is? Magic hour. Sometimes it's referred to as witching hour. It's the hour between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning, where I'm sure many of you wake up. Maybe not every night, but occasionally. 3 to 4 a.m. And maybe it is more often than not. And there are many reasons for this. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because this morning I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm not exactly sure what time it was on the clock, but a lot of times when I look, it is like a sequence of numbers, like a 3:33. Today, I don't think it was that. And speaking of, it's important to pay attention to those number sequences that are coming through for you, especially if you're waking up in the middle of the night with a certain number sequence that is continually coming for you. There's a message in that for you. Numbers are one of the ways our spirit, our higher self, our guides, our angels will speak to us. And so if we have something coming up all the time, there is a message in there for you. And oftentimes, all it takes is just a little quieting down and asking yourself and trusting the very first thing that comes. And if you don't want to do that, then you can, always use Google because there's lots of answers out there. But they can only give you like this generalized theme. The answer for you is individualized for you. But this hour, this 3 to 4 o'clock hour in the morning that I woke up today is such a common time. And so what happened to me today, I woke up and I thought to myself, I had all these thoughts going in my mind. And the thoughts were, you should get up. You're awake. You should go write. It's a great time. It's such a beautiful time in the morning. This goes through my brain oftentimes when I wake up at this time. Sometimes I get up and sometimes I don't. This morning I had a nice little argument with myself because I'm stubborn. I'm realizing today how stubborn I am. In this moment this morning, it was so loud and clear. I was saying to myself, you should really get up. You should get up. This is such a great time for you to write. You're always inspired at this time of the morning. And instead, I argued with myself and said, no, I started thinking, well, I only went to bed at this time. I literally started thinking about how many hours I had. And no, I should just go back to sleep because it hasn't been enough. Silly me. So next time I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to get my little butt out of bed and I'm going to do something else besides sleep, no matter what that is, whether that is just sitting in quiet contemplation, because wow, what a beautiful time in the morning for that. It's so quiet. Everyone's sleeping. Well, mostly everyone. It's dark. It's just super peaceful. Maybe it's a time for meditation, for writing, for doing anything creative, maybe writing a song, whatever it is that is your thing, painting, drawing. That time in the morning is such a beautiful time. And I wanted to share this with you all today because I know so many of us experience it and we wonder why. Why is this happening? Well, it's for this very reason that my higher self was telling me this morning that I was choosing to ignore. And so I thought I'd share my stubbornness with you today because maybe this will help you not be as stubborn. Maybe it will help you think to yourself, oh, maybe I should get up. I am awake. This is a great time to just be with myself and do whatever I want because there's no one that's going to bother me at all at this time. For me, as a mom, I love that there's always something doing during the day. There's always something that needs to get done, especially if I'm home. And so that hour where everyone is sleeping is just priceless. And what's interesting is I woke up this morning. Of course, I went back to bed and I still woke up early enough. Still, when I got up and I eventually went through my routine and looked at my phone, there was a YouTube video that popped up from Dyer about this exact thing. And so I thought I would play that for you today. Take a listen.
A Persian poet from back in the ancient times in the 13th century, his name was Jalaluddin Rumi. And Rumi has this observation that's been very important and very powerful to me. He said, "The morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep." Let me say it again. The morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. I'd like to take a poll. Just by a show of hands, I'd like to ask how many people in this room, and there's about 3,000 of us here tonight, I'd like to ask you, how many of you awaken at one time or another between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m.? Let me just see by a show of hands. And if you look around, you see that this is a universal experience. Now, what do you think that is? If everybody, almost everybody, awakens at some time between 3 and 4. Now, for some of us, we just interpret that as, all right, this is my age. I'll just run into the bathroom and I'll be right back. And you may make that visit several times a night. I don't know. But there's more to that. And I'd like you to, now of all of those people who raised their hand at this idea that you awaken sometime between 3 and 4 a.m., how many of you awaken at exactly the same time? Exactly the same time with a little digital clock next to you. What is your time? 3:18. What is your time? 2:20. What is yours? 4:50. So like there's and this happens repeatedly over and over again. My time is 3:13. I awaken at 3:13 night after night after night. I look over, I've got this little clock. It's not an alarm clock, it's just a little digital clock. I just look over and it's 3:13 again and again and again. So what I had trained myself to do in the writing of this book, in the inspiration book, is to put my feet on the floor and say to myself, all right, you are going to awaken because here's what Rumi said, the morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. Do you realize that between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night, this is the time when you're closest to your source? This is the time when it's the quietest. It is the time when it's the most peaceful, when there are the least distractions. And of course in Miracles it says the memory of God comes to the quiet mind. It cannot come where there is conflict. A mind at war with itself remembers not eternal gentleness. Eternal gentleness. That's what you came from. It beckons you back to be awake. It's the most creative time in your life. Try it. Take that moment that you are being called by your source and awaken, and force yourself to shake the cobwebs out. And if you can't, then put your feet on the floor and say, look, if I have to go back to sleep, I'm going to sleep with my feet on the floor. And after a while, that gets very uncomfortable, and you'll get yourself up. Now, when I do that, and I get up, and I live on Maui, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank all of you for my beautiful home that I have on Maui. And when I get up at that is the most glorious time to be out there, and I go out onto the lanai, and I get this sense of this powerful feeling of inspiration. it's overwhelming to me. And I walk by my writing table and it pulls me. It's pulling me towards it. It's almost beckoning me and saying, please, please come to me. I want you to, and I sit there sometimes and I literally wonder, where is this coming from? The words, they just flow, and I sit there and I write by hand. And as I'm writing and allowing this to flow through my heart and onto the pages, I just think to myself, I wonder what's going to come next. I wonder when it's going to come next. It's almost as if God is saying, this is why you're here. And I can't get you any other time because it's just so busy, and there's horns bonk, and there's so many distractions. But here's a time when you can just be with me. Just be in spirit. Just be inspired. Inspirado. Be in this space with me. And I will then allow what creative juices that you have forgotten about because you edged me out for so much a part of your life. And here it is. And you'll find yourself getting the right ideas. Examining things that you never thought of before. Writing, some of you, I know you do it in your sleep many times, you'll write a poem and it'll be so phenomenal, and then you'll say, well, I'll remember that tomorrow. And then you get up and you can't get any of it. The morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. Use those hours. And forget about the idea that, let's see now, I went to bed at 11. And if I get up at 3, that means 4 hours, so I'm going to be 4 hours deficient all day long. I'm not going to be... Forget that. You've got an eternity to sleep. An eternity to sleep. And when you learn to meditate and get quiet and get peaceful, you can always, in 20 minutes time of meditation, any time during the day, get the equivalent of a full night's sleep. Don't go back to sleep.
I absolutely love this Rumi quote in the beginning. The morning breeze has secrets to tell you. Do not go back to sleep. The morning breeze absolutely has secrets to tell us. And if we wake up, that is that time that he's talking about. That is the inspiration time. It's that time where it's so quiet with no distractions that we can just be in spirit and be inspired. Just be in that space with ourselves, with nothing else. It's such a beautiful, beautiful space, and such an enlightening space. That space between 3 and 4 a.m. is supposed to be the time when the veil is thinnest between the dimensions. What's interesting about that is that science tells us that it's usually the time when we are transitioning from a state of deep sleep to a state of light sleep. And that is the state where we have all the answers. Well, when we're still in that kind of in-between, if we're waking up there, then we are in that state of half awake, half asleep, where all the answers are available to us because it's that in-between. We've made this bridge from consciousness to subconsciousness. We feel like we're awake, but really we're not. It's this funny state, this state where you wake up from a dream, you remember it very, very clearly, and you think, I'm awake, I got it, I'll remember this. But when you actually open your eyes, get up, start moving around, it's gone. Well, it's gone because you were in the in-between. And so this is that time of night where typically people are waking from deep to light, and it's because... many reasons, because the veil is the thinnest then between dimensions. It's when we're coming back from the astral world, from our travels out there that we do every single night, because our body needs to sleep. Our soul does not need sleep. Our soul would get really bored laying around waiting for our body to wake up. So what our soul does is go out and does its work, does its learning, whatever it needs to do, hence dreams, or fragments and pieces of them that we get. But this time, this 3 to 4 a.m. is such a beautiful time to take advantage of if you're waking up. So I know so many of us experience this, and so I wanted to put this out there as a reminder today. Take this time for yourself, for your spirit, to just be. get up, you'll be able to reclaim all of that sleep in a 20-minute meditation, which you should, no shoulds here, but it would be really beneficial for you to do that every single day. So you can regain that sleep, like Wayne said, with your 20-minute meditation. So get up and be inspired. I love you all so much. I'm going to leave you with the song for today. This is Geometry Ascension. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.